There seem to be a lot of assumptions around what makes a YouTuber successful and how you can make money from YouTube. First big assumption is you need a big, massive audience. Second assumption is that a huge amount of your money comes from ad revenue. Third assumption is you're making a whole lot of money from brand deals. But what if there's an alternative? What if there's a way to make good six-figure income from YouTube, but it doesn't require a large audience at all? What if you could build a real business on the back of YouTube? Today I want to share with you a specific strategy that I've used for the last decade and a half to build my businesses online that I don't see a lot of YouTubers using, and how it can really help you grow your own business. I've also got a free gift for you. I'll tell you about that in just a minute. Okay, I want to start this conversation by comparing two very different types of companies. One would be a company like Coca-Cola. The other would be the independent coffee shop down the street. Big, massive corporation, brick and mortar, single location run by a single person. Two, they both provide beverages, but that's about where the similarities stop, because the way Coca-Cola runs their company is decidedly different from the way a small coffee shop will run their company. Well, what differences would there be? Well, this company over here, Coca-Cola, could run Super Bowl ads. They can do massive multi-million-dollar ad campaigns. The person over here with the coffee shop can't do anything like that, correct? They may be able to run some local advertising, but predominantly they're going to rely on things like word of mouth, social media, places where they can reach customers organically for free. And if they do spend any money on advertising, it's very small and very focused and very specific. The thing about a big company like Coca-Cola is they could do an ad campaign and they don't even have to know if it worked or not. They arguably can't really know. They could look at their quarterly earnings report and see, well, there was a bump of about 0.5% in this region where we ran this campaign. So let's say that's because of the campaign that we ran, and we'll call it a success. The person running the coffee shop can't go spend thousands of dollars on something if they're not sure that they will get that money back and more from customers who come buy stuff from their shop, right? I know this seems super simple and obvious, but it's worth talking about, because I would put myself in the category with the small coffee shop owner versus the big Coca-Cola. Just like I have a YouTube channel, it's called Home Studio Corner. I've run it for the last 15 years, and in that time, I've grown it to a whopping 200,000 subscribers. Now, for some people that might seem like a lot, but compared to a Mr. Beast, that is tiny. I am running a small-ish channel, making a good living, and I've been making a good living from it for years. But I don't run it the same way someone like Mr. Beast or someone else runs a massive YouTube channel. We could not be more different. And what is that difference? The difference is a term that's very old and comes across as boring when people talk about it, but it's the secret to my ability to generate a six-figure income from my YouTube channel for the last decade and a half. And that term is called direct response marketing. Big companies like Toyota, Coca-Cola, they can run big ad campaigns and they just kind of write it off as a part of their annual budget. They don't necessarily know how that ad performed. Like I said before, small companies can't afford to do things like that. In fact, the best way for a small company to grow is to do what's called direct response marketing, where they are putting everything they do in, as far as advertising and even content, is meant to create a response from the end user. So instead of Coca-Cola makes an ad for the Super Bowl and they hope that people talk about it and like it, this person makes an ad or makes a post and hopes that people come in and buy a cup of coffee from them. Like that, it turns into specifically dollars coming into the cash register. That's how they measure that success. The two are very different. And even though maybe they both have a YouTube channel, they're both in the same media, the approach is completely different. And that's what I want to talk about today. You don't need to look to the Coca-Colas and Mr. Beasts of the world to learn how to grow a business from YouTube. If you get to that point, wonderful. But what they do doesn't make sense for small business owners like you and me. And if you've never started your channel, you've not started a business, you've not made a dollar online, the good news is you don't have to get to massive numbers before you can start seeing real big dollars hit your bank account. What you need to do is think like a business, like a small business, and learn to do direct response marketing like this coffee shop owner over here. Okay, now I'm going to ask you to do something. I want you to open up a new tab in the browser you're in right now and go to this website, joegilder.biz/game. I've got a free gift that I want you to have. You'll enter your email address there, and I'll send you two things. First is a PDF diagram of the business model that I've used and have used for the last 15 years to grow a six-figure income in my online business, all centered around my YouTube channel. And it'll come with a 45-minute video where I explain and describe that process in detail so you can apply it to what you're doing. Again, go to joegilder.biz/game to get your free copy. Okay, this is very meta, but what I just did, that thing I just told you to go get, that's direct response marketing. I just promoted to you something called a lead magnet. It is something valuable that is meant to be magnetic to leads, to people who would be good customers for me and my company. It's free, and the end goal is to A, give you value, and B, get you onto my email list so you and I can continue to have a relationship, and hopefully one day I can sell something to you. Maybe not you specifically, but if I get enough of you to subscribe, a percentage of those people will likely buy something from me because I will sell something to them directly. That is direct response marketing, classic direct response marketing that's been around for a really long time. Been around, longer than you or I or our grandparents have been around. It's the way business has been done for a long time, and it's not dead. Most big YouTubers that I see don't do this. They don't do the direct response marketing thing. Why is that? There's two main reasons. One, they're playing a different game. They're going for massive appeal, huge audience, so they do get big ad revenues, that's true, and they do get big brand deals, and they can still sell things to their audience. Mr. Beast has candy bars. He's not directly like sending you to a link to buy it, but he's got such a big audience that a small percentage of them will go find the candy bar in the gas station or the grocery store and will buy it. So they're selling directly to their customer, but they're not doing it in a direct response way. What's a reason they might not do that? I would argue the reason is they're afraid of selling. They're afraid of coming across as a dirty salesperson, and they're also afraid of what would happen when they start to actually try to measure that. I think in a lot of ways, it's easier for people to just create content and hope they get lots of views. And if they hit the jackpot and they do get lots of views, wonderful. And if they don't, they just chalk it up to, oh, well, the algorithm doesn't like me. If I waited to get to 1 million subscribers before I tried to make any money, or if I waited until just the YouTube ad revenue was enough to support me and my family, 15 years in, I would still be forced to have a job somewhere because I only make about $1,200 a month from my YouTube channel. But my business that I built on the back end of my YouTube channel generates, anywhere from, $10,000 to $15,000 up to $60,000, $70,000 in a single month. Why is that? Because I use YouTube as a resource, as a free tool to build my business. Instead of building my YouTube channel and essentially building YouTube's business for them and making a little money on the side, I use YouTube to build my own business over here. So my YouTube channel could disappear tomorrow. I still have this business. I still have these email addresses. I still have these leads and customers that I can send an email to and sell to tomorrow if I need to. That's the difference between building a brand on someone else's platform and building your own business. That's the game that we're playing here. And if you're thinking, I just want to be a YouTube and just be popular and famous and make a lot of money that way, that's fine. Play that game. To me, that feels closer to playing the lottery than starting a business. That feels like you're putting your success in a lot of other people's hands. I would rather take control of that. I was making, I have to go back and look at the numbers, but I believe I got to the six-figure income mark with it was definitely less than 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. I think it was less than 10,000 subscribers. The number of subscribers doesn't really mean anything. I was able to get some of those to convert into leads, and then I was able to convert some of those leads into customers who pay me money. What are they paying me money for? Well, let's talk about that kind of business model. I'm building a business on the back end of YouTube, and the primary tool that I use for that is a lead magnet. What is a lead magnet? It is something valuable that I give away for free. Typically, it's information. It's a report. It's a video series. It's a document. It's a single cheat sheet. I'm using it to solve a single problem for the customer. Now, my entire business model is built around, instead of entertainment, education. So it's very easy for me to say, hey, I just taught you in my other business, it's about music and music production. Hey, I just taught you how to set up your microphone. Now go check out this free gift on the best strategies for mixing the vocals once you record them. That's a very natural thing, natural next step. A lot of people just don't even think to do something like that. They'll say, smash that subscribe button, hit the bell, do all those things. And those are valuable, but they don't allow you to capture that person as a lead in your system. They're still out there in the YouTube world, and the only way you can communicate with them is through another YouTube video. There are some YouTubers where I see every video they release, but there are others that I don't. I'm as a subscriber, as a consumer, I'm subject to the algorithm as much as the person on the other end who's making the videos. I may or may not see their post. I may not watch it to the end where they tell me about their new product that I can go buy. But if they send me an email, I'm going to see that email, right? I check my email every day. I have to deal with every email in my inbox. I either read it or not, delete it or not. Either way, I'm seeing your communication when you send an email to me. That's why the lead magnet is so important. So I create, ideally, a bunch of these different lead magnets that each solve a specific problem with in a different kind of category of the customer's world. And then I just make sure that every video I make has some sort of a mention, sometimes more than once, of that specific free thing, and I send them to a link to go sign up. And then I ask them in every video. One of the big mistakes I made early on for years, I would create videos, I would put them out there, and then I would put a little link in the description of the video to go get my free thing. Most people don't go check the description unless I tell them to. When I started specifically asking them to subscribe, my email opt-ins skyrocketed. I just had to ask. And guess what? Most people, a lot of people will say, no, I will not subscribe to you. That's fine. I only need some of them to subscribe. And then guess what? Of the people who subscribe, not all of them are going to buy from me. A small percentage of them are going to buy. That's the way this game works. But if I get enough of them, then that percentage of people who buys is enough to generate a wonderful income for me and my family. So what is it that I'm selling to them? We'll talk about that more in another video, but it's things like courses and memberships, more advanced versions, more detailed, more in-depth versions of what I'm doing here on YouTube. Could you subscribe to me for 10 years and learn just about everything I know about the topic? Probably. Could you buy one of my courses and get there faster? Yeah, that's the whole point. Some people are willing to do that, some people aren't, and that's the game we're playing here. All right, thanks so much for watching this video. If you have questions about this model, leave them in the comments below. I plan to kind of go through each component of this business model in the upcoming videos, but if there's something that you specifically want to know about, I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment and let me know. And if you haven't seen the recent video I did that kind of lays out the entire model of how I make $25,000 a month from YouTube, go watch that now. Thanks for watching. See ya.